Hello and welcome to An Epic World. Brought to you by Quadrian, this is an interview series that shines a light on innovators, thought leaders, and trailblazers who are driving transformational innovation in industries and economies worldwide. I'm your host, Courtney Fingar, a senior advisor for Quadrian. Now, Quadrian is focused on inspiring epic growth by leveraging the combined forces of venture investment, foreign direct investment, and special economic zones. As part of its mission, Quadrian supports innovative founder-led startups as they scale up globally. One of these inspirational founders, which we're very fortunate to work with, is Tahereh Pazouki. Tahereh's company Magrid has created an effective, evidence-based early childhood learning app, which I actually can't wait to hear more about. Welcome, Tahereh. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Courtney. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So, first of all, let's start from the beginning. Introduce us to Magrid and tell us about the motivations behind its creation, and most importantly, what's its unique selling point.
Yes, absolutely. So, Magrid is an educational solution for assessment and training of early cognitive and numerical skills for all children, including children with special educational needs. So, for instance, children that they are having hearing difficulties, ADD, ADHD, in autism spectrum, and many more. The uniqueness about Magrid, or what's innovative aspect of Magrid, is first of all, it's a research based. So it's a result of more than 6 years of research and development at University of Luxembourg, where we are based in, and also collaboration together with other universities in Germany, France, Portugal, and more. So it's the result and the effectiveness have been repeatedly validated through experts. The other aspect is on the language free aspect of that. So the program it's independent of any form of written or verbal text and instructions. So everything is visual, it's intuitive, and it's all in a visual format. So we replaced all verbal instruction and written instruction with visual material to create a fully intuitive program that can be used by all children in an inclusive way.
Well, that sounds like a really, worthwhile mission with a strong social impact. And there seems to be a lot more awareness these days of neurodivergence, and it's an app like yours that helps perhaps close the gap between traditional ways of learning and the needs of the neurodivergent. Is that what inspired you, or were you touched in any personal capacity with this issue?
Yeah, so actually, I have a younger brother who had difficulty when he was a child at school because of some physical issues that he had. So he was very often in hospital, and this was keeping him behind his formal schooling and being in the classroom with his students. So, as an older sister, I was responsible for his education. So I used to do drawings to make him understand the concepts and ideas in my own way. And seeing him learning, growing, and smiling was such a great joy for me that I couldn't find it after that in anything else. And so that's why I decided to spend my life in that direction to have that joy back again and again with different children.
Oh, that's a really wonderful motivation. Does your brother like the app? What does he think of it?
He's now grown actually. He recently graduated university. He's a software engineer and he's actually part of our tech team. So he's working in Magrid and that's our mission. So that's what we would like to do with other children to help them live their dream, let's say.
That's really fantastic. So, where are you in the journey? Who are your early adopters? And are you making moves into international markets already?
So we started in Luxembourg, where we are based in, and the Ministry of Education in Luxembourg was our very first customer. So it's been implemented in all public school in Luxembourg, and for both typically developing children and also for children with a special education need. After that, we expanded in Europe, particularly in Portugal. From Portugal, we got customers from Brazil, given the like language connection, and then because of some international awards that we received, we got more and more visibility internationally, getting into the Asian and also Latin American countries. And fortunately, after the investment round that we had from Quadrian, then also Quadrian helped a lot in the expansion and the growth process. So that was, yeah, fortunately what we had during the last 12 months.
Well, and I'm aware that part of that, growth path, as you mentioned, is in Latin America, and I believe you have some activities, some outreach going on in Colombia. You can maybe tell us about that, and that you'll be joining the conference that is the annual conference of the Latin America Free Zone Association that's taking place in Curacao. So how do you see the Caribbean? What kinda links are you hoping to make there in addition to what you already have going on in elsewhere in Latin America?
Yeah, so it's perfectly in line and it's very well like matching together. So we started in Latin America in Brazil, and then we got in through some foundation in Peru that they have been now using the program for a year. And it was just in the like perfect timing to get to Colombian market. Also from there to Curacao, as Curacao, let's say, situation is very similar to Luxembourg from the size, language diversity, and so on. So we have a very good experience in Luxembourg, and then this link with Curacao right in time. And I think would be a very successful implementation, and then helping us to somehow build our hub for Caribbean so that afterward we can repeat the same strategy.
This is very exciting, and you'll hear at international conferences such as the one that will take place in Curacao, there's always a lot of talk about encouraging innovation and creating innovation ecosystems. But as an innovator, as a founder, what's helpful? What are the requirements? What assistance is useful to you from government entities to help facilitate your further expansion and to help you continue to innovate?
Yeah, very, very good question. So initially we started in University of Luxembourg and collaborating closely with the Ministry of Education in Luxembourg. So I would say the resources that you can find that are already existing in governmental setting can be particularly interesting and helpful for a startup just getting such a huge amount of data to have access to it, like from the user feedback, user experience, especially in small countries, they can be a very good testing platform before you want to expand into a larger market. And again, in the countries that they have language diversity, you can directly test your platform on different culture, let's say languages, they are linked to the culture. So that can be also very much helpful. And then this way, let's say for the big companies, maybe going to small countries is not as beneficial because it requires a lot of resources to expand to a new market that given the market size, maybe it doesn't worth it. But for startups, going to small countries, it's beneficial from all aspects. So you are testing at larger scale, and you also don't have necessarily the competition as you may find in bigger markets.
That's right, and it's often easier to have those direct contacts and links with decision makers in small places, which is very useful.
Indeed.
It's understandable your motivation, for launching the app, but what drives you now? What do you get out of bed for every morning? What inspires you?
Today, like let's say last year, this time we had different challenges at today. So last year we had the fundraising difficulties, and we were like, okay, the reason, like if we would have money now, we would do so much. Today, like after raising funds, now it's about execution. It's about serving the client. It's about tailoring the product to make sure that the clients they get really the benefits from that, and they could become our ambassadors to talk about Magrid. And yeah, today what motivates me every day is seeing the messages from customers, from teachers, from parents, from all around the world that they are either mentioning and bringing up that this was such a helpful solution for them, that a child could not do this and that. And now after using Magrid, they are now capable of gaining these competency sets. They are more capable of doing other stuff. But more importantly, it's on helping children, especially those within neurodiversity group and special needs who gain back, or let's say improving their confidence and self-esteem, and that they know that they can, and it's like their differences is not a disadvantage. It can be an advantage for them. It's just finding the right strength set for them. And these are all extremely motivational for myself, but also for the whole team.
Great. And what's next? Where would you like yourself and Magrid to be, say, 5 years from now? What's the next phase?
We are research based, and we really like to continue working closely with researchers to make sure that the solution is scientifically valid for different group of population. And the direction we are going today in terms of product is on turning our solution, or let's say further improving our solution to become an assessment platform that can not diagnose but flag students in need at earlier stage, so that we can provide the right training at earlier stage, so that we can make sure that they can get the most out of training. And as you know, in early years of children, the development is much faster, and also early years are more important. So then you provide right training at earlier years can be very, very crucial. So that's what we are working on. And then in terms of expansion, to make sure that more children around the globe, they can benefit from the solution. And so that whole opportunity for learning is not an advantage, or it's not a privilege, but to make this a right for everyone, even for those that they are within neurodiversity group.
One thing you touched on a little bit earlier was language and culture. How much do you have to adapt the product to take account of not only language but culture while maintaining your same kind of approach?
You may know that in Luxembourg, we have five official, let's say three official languages and five spoken languages across country. So, and the majority of inhabitants here, they are migrants. So, wide range of languages and culture. So we were trying to make our program language and culture free, so we could expand it faster. But not only that, that more students can benefit from this. So no matter where the child is coming from, which language they speak, they can all benefit from the solution. And as it's also a unique aspect of Magrid, we try as much as we can to keep this aspect while going forward and expanding the solution.
Great, and you've mentioned a few times, Quadrian and your collaboration. How did you come across Quadrian, and what were you looking for, and what have you found?
To be honest, initially we were looking for money, but today what we got was way more than money. So I was always thinking that, yeah, the best money that you can get is the smart money, so that it's not only bringing you budget, but it's helping you to expand. And also the advisory that you need. So the advisory that they are looking for your benefit, because you can get a lot of advisory, but they are not tailored, or they're not customized for you. They are like one recipe that maybe works for everyone. But here, because they cared, they play as your team. So you can really rely on that, because you are sharing, let's say, the same goals and so on. So this was from Quadrian. We not only received the funding, but also the access to the market, the advisory from different aspects on the growth, on the also financials, on the next round of fundraising, and many more.
Excellent, and so will you be doing a new round of fundraising soon?
I'm not sure, depending on the situation.
Well, it sounds like you're very much in growth and international expansion mode, which is exciting to see, and we'll be really keen to keep an eye on how things develop. So, thank you, Tahir, for taking the time to speak with me. I've really enjoyed learning more about you and about Magrid. And thanks to you all for tuning in. That concludes this episode. Join us next time as we continue to tour around the world and unearth inspiring stories of innovation. Thank you.